You're listening to UCW Radio. In your face.
What we got here is a failure to communicate.
Oh, have I got your attention now?
For lack of a better word, is good.
You know what I mean?
Money to be made in a place like this. Money never sleeps, pal.
You're crazy.
You know what it takes to sell real estate?
It takes brass.
I'm falling, and I can't get up.
All right, welcome to Money Never Sleeps. This is the show where we talk about anything and everything that impacts the flow of money from around the corner to around the world. And we've been having a lot of great shows lately. We've been getting a lot of great feedback from everyone, and I appreciate it. I thank you for listening and taking time. You know, the shows, we cut the length of the show. You know, we used to do a lot longer show, a half hour to an hour, which is, you know, a little bit much to do a daily show. You know, it's not like we're you know, this is all that we do all day. We have other things to do, but we're trying to utilize this platform to share our input, our views on industries, stocks, situations, whether geopolitical or other, and basically just give our input and hopefully inform you guys. And give you maybe something to think about, something to look into, so on and so forth. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at Velazquez, and this is where you'll get a front row seat to my insight, my rants, my personal endeavors, and so on and so forth. Sometimes it can be entertaining, sometimes it can be informative, but you'll never be bored. That's for sure. You know, this week we've been touching on a lot of different topics, from cannabis to cryptocurrency, you know, to the alcohol, beverage, tobacco industries, and geopolitical situations with the tariffs and so on and so forth. Look, today's Friday, and we're not going to make this into a show today that we're going to focus on stocks or any particular crypto or any particular, you know, cannabis situation or commodity or so on and so forth. I'm going to make this more of a, I'm not going to say commentary. I'm going to say more of my input, let's say. I guess commentary could work. But there's been a lot of things going on. And look, I'm a big advocate, you know, for animals and for kids and so on and so forth. I do, you know, I support PETA, and I support a lot of other organizations that are doing great things out there for animals, for children, you know, for the elderly, for women, so on and so forth. You know, I'm a really big advocate for women being empowered and growing and, you know, becoming the leaders that they should be, because I think there has to be a balance. There's no question there has to be a balance. So I appreciate all the women that are stepping up and rising up and doing great things and sending that elevator down and opening up doors for other people to rise up, you know, men and women, you know, giving them the opportunity to shine where normally they wouldn't shine. And I think that's important. You got to pay it forward. Now moving on, one topic that I want to touch on, you know, it's tobacco. You know, for a lot of years, you know, going through the history of tobacco, it was, you know, advertised that it was a cool thing, and I guess that's why a lot of people were smoking cigarettes. You know, people chewed tobacco for a long time, and, you know, had a lot of health issues from it. Then smoking cigarettes, they had a health issue, but, you know, like I guess in the 50s and so on, you know, it was a cool thing, and even the 60s and 70s was a cool thing, because that's the way it's marketed, for it to be cool, where kids are doing it. You know, then people started to smarten up. At least I thought they started to smarten up, and then they invented the e-cigarette. Okay, you would think because it smells different, it tastes different, that it's healthier for you. Bottom line, it's not. Okay, that's borderline like smoking antifreeze. Okay, just imagine smoking antifreeze and what that can do to your lungs and do to your insides. These kids nowadays, they don't understand that. They think it's cool. So if my friend does it, I'm going to do it. Okay, they think that because it's not a cigarette that it's okay. That's bogus. That's bull crap. You don't understand what you're doing to your body. Okay, teen usage of e-cigarettes is up 75% in a year's time. Up 75%. You have, I believe that you have some government intervention going on, because, everybody thinks it's cool to smoke an e-cigarette. It's cool. It has a little glowing light. Smoke's coming out. I'm Joe Cool, you're not. Okay. So the government intervention comes down to, them stating that you have kids that are of legal age to smoke this, that are actually buying it and distributing them to kids that are underage. All right, because it's so easy to do. That's why they're focusing on this Juul, which is the leader in this space. Because you have cool tasting and smelling oils that go into these e-cigarettes, and again, you don't even know what's going on with them. What's in there, it can be damaging to your body, and I think that, in my opinion, that there should be some intervention. And again, people are going to do what they're going to do, right? You can tell and put any laws you want, like with prohibition, any laws to try to control society's habitual movement, and you can go and do that. And people want it, they're going to find a way to do it. You outlaw alcohol, they're going to find, you got speakeasies that went on. You outlaw, cocaine and other drugs, people are going to find a way to get it. Okay, you outlaw cannabis, people are going to find a way to get it. Now, the legalization of cannabis is coming around. And as city by city, county by county in the United States and state by state, at some point in time, the federal government, will give a nod, and it'll make that, it'll legalize that. And in legalizing that, you're going to get a lot of tax revenue from it, and people aren't going to be spending 20 years in jail for walking around with an ounce of weed. And these are the things that have happened in the 70s, 80s, 90s, the 2000s, people, they went to jail for a long time for possessing that. Not dealing it, just possession. And a vast majority of the people that were incarcerated are minorities. So hopefully that this turns around. I know people can, have their opinions on the legalization of cannabis. I think it should be legalized. People are using it. Let the communities benefit by the revenue that's going to be generated. Why not? Okay, it's not the equivalent. People make reference to this is like legalizing cocaine or heroin and things like that. Well, guess what, people? You have legal heroin out there. It's called painkillers. Okay, opioids. All right, so don't get it twisted. You have these drugs out there in the pharmaceutical form. Okay, just because you're not buying it on a street corner doesn't mean that you have no access to this in the pharmaceutical way. All right, so but anyway, I just wanted to touch on that. Technology-wise, with these e-cigarettes, I think that one thing that I heard about, which I thought was pretty interesting, and it could come to fruition. I don't know how costly it would be. I think if the government forces the e-cigarette companies to do it, they'll wind up doing it. But I don't know if this is going to come about. But they were talking about making these e-cigarettes Bluetooth compatible. And you're thinking, well, they're not going to make a phone call with it. It's not like they can listen. No, it has nothing to do with that. What they're looking to do, and this is what I think, okay, just from what I understand, they're looking to put a beacon in the schools Okay, so that if you're within a certain proximity of the school and within the school, that the Bluetooth, connects and it blocks or shuts down your e-cigarette. Okay, and I think that's the biggest issue with kids smoking this on school grounds. Could it work? Quite possibly. However, understand with these e-cigarettes, it's not like you can plug them in and charge them. All right, when the battery goes, it goes. There's no changing it. There's nothing to do. So when you have a Bluetooth and it's draining your battery, consistently. So again, I don't know how that's going to work. Maybe an RFID tag on them, that may be interesting. Make it, very low frequency so it works. There are things that can come about, and I'm sure that they're going to figure it out at some point. I was talking about, and just on the cannabis front, Tilray this week. Tilray, roller coaster ride, up, down, sideways, this, that. I sent out a tweet. It was funny. This guy was walking and he slipped and he was really fighting to stay up. And that was my rendition of Tilray's trading. Eventually fell down. Remember, nothing goes up in a straight line. I think that on the legal cannabis end, I think that they're on the right path. I also spoke about Green Organic, Dutchman. That's worth a look, only because of what they do. They don't grow, they don't do any of that stuff, but basically they're like I call them the Procter & Gamble of the cannabis industry, where they have the pretty product at the end that can go on the shelves and people will buy. It's more, for the consumers. And I think that could be an interesting play, should everything move forward the way I think it will in the next year. So the cannabis industry is heating up. I made reference to cannabis being like the crypto industry, trading wise, yeah. Okay, but as far as potential wise, the cryptocurrency arena has a hell of a lot more potential than the cannabis industry. And especially if you have cryptos that have utility. They have a utility, they're viable, they're cost effective, they're efficient, they're providing something that businesses globally can use. You have things like that, then you have a winner. Okay, blockchain, as you know, is the underlying technology behind crypto. Don't get it wrong. Blockchain is not crypto. Crypto is not blockchain. Blockchain is like the internet. It's the next layer of the internet. Okay, and crypto is just layered on top of that, like a cake. Okay, it's just something that functions on the blockchain. And again, viable. You have a lot of coins out there, a lot of tokens, a lot of ICOs. I believe, like 12 billion went into ICOs this year. They're putting them into projects that don't exist yet. They're going to take time to develop. Better to invest in projects that are developing and creating new viable solutions to what's going out there. And that's what, like Megahoot, this is the stuff that we're involved with. This is the stuff that the company is tackling and making a lot of headway. And with, they are, Megahoot is the custodian for Pico Novus, the Pico Novus digital asset network, and with the proprietary escrow system and everything in place, makes it probably one of the more viable digital assets / cryptocurrencies on the market now. Okay, so something definitely to look at. And you can find out more by going to megahoot.com or picunovus.com. That's PECUNOVUS.com. All right. But, on that note, again, it's Friday. Didn't want to get too crazy with things. I just wanted to touch on the e-cigarette deal and just some other random thoughts. Want to wish you guys a fantastic weekend. And again, thanks for listening and thanks for all your support. I really do appreciate it. And I want to connect with you. So, you can find me on Twitter. That's probably the best way to connect with me. And if you have questions and stuff like that, I'm more than willing to hear you out. And if it's something interesting, we'll talk about it on the show. We're going to start having at some point in the near future, we're going to start having some CEOs of companies on the show and some other guests on the show talking about it. So it's not just me, that we have other people bringing their insight to the table. All right. So anyway, on that note, I want to thank you. Please join us on Monday for the next segment of Money Never Sleeps Radio. Until then, have an awesome Friday. Hope your trading goes well. Enjoy your weekend. Spend time with your family and make a few memories and enjoy it. All right. We'll be back with you guys on Monday. Thanks again for listening.
Initiating shutdown sequence.
You're listening to UCW Radio in your face.
What is your major malfunction?
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Ladies and gentlemen, my mother thanks you, my father thanks you, my sister thanks you, and I thank you.
All opinions expressed by Louis Velazquez on the Money Never Sleeps radio show and its website are solely his opinions and do not reflect the opinions of the UCW radio show or their parent company or affiliates, and may have been previously disseminated by him on television, radio, internet, or another medium. You should not treat any opinion expressed by him as a specific inducement to make a particular investment or follow a particular strategy, but only as an expression of his opinion. His opinions are based upon information he considers to be reliable, but neither the UCW radio show nor its affiliates, parent companies, and or subsidiaries warrant its completeness or accuracy, and it should not be relied upon as such. The UCW radio show, Louis Velazquez, its affiliates, parent companies, and or subsidiaries are not under any obligation to update or correct any information provided on the radio show or on the website. His statements and opinions are subject to change without notice. No part of his compensation from the UCW radio show is related to the specific opinions he expresses. Please read the full disclaimer on MoneyNeverSleepsRadio.com.